Let's begin by taking a look at the AndroidManifest.xml file, which of course is created for you when you set up the project in Eclipse. Now there's just a couple of key things that I'd like to point out to you in this file. First of all, we have our package com.ditel.canongame, and the reason I want to point this out to you is we're going to be using a custom view in this app called a Canon view. You can see its file over here in the package. And when you use a custom view and place it into a layout, you have to fully qualify the class name with the package name. So it is important to know what the package name is in this app. Now separately, we have within the application node our activity node for the Canon game, and in particular I want to also point out that we're setting the screen orientation to portrait, and that's important for this game because we maintain the game only in portrait mode the way that we've coded it. Now the other thing I want to take a look at in this video is the strings.xml resource file. Now we've certainly been using lots of string resources in all of our apps so far. The key new feature that we're showing here is how to do a formatted string resource, and we have two of them, one here at lines 4 and 5 for a resource called results format, and one down here at lines 9 and 10 for the time remaining format. Now when you're doing format strings and you have only one format specifier in the format string, you can just use a standard Java format specifier. So for example, here at line 10, the %.1f says that this is a placeholder for a floating point number that will be displayed with 1 digit of precision to the right of the decimal point. On the other hand, if you have a format string that requires multiple values to be placed into the string, you must specify numbers that say which parameter goes into each location. So for example, here we have two format specifiers, $$1 and $2.1f. Now the first placeholder is for an integer, that's what the D represents. The second one is for a floating point number, which is what the F represents. The floating point number, of course, will have 1 digit to the right of the decimal point, which is what the .1 represents. The $1 sign and the $2 sign are indicators of which parameter after the format control string will be placed into these placeholders in the Java source code. So $1 sign says the first parameter after the format control string, and $2 sign says the second parameter after the format control string. Now the reason this is important is when you get into localizing your apps into different spoken languages, then the placement of the values in the strings may be different based on the spoken language. So the key thing is that no matter what, wherever the $1 sign format specifier shows up, the first value after the format string will be placed there, and no matter where the $2 sign format specifier shows up, the second value after the format string will be placed there. So this allows you to set up separate strings resource files that have other spoken language strings in them, place these format specifiers where they need to be in those other spoken language strings, and let Android manage the strings for you because it's able, based on the naming of the files, to pick up the correct strings.xml file based on the user's locale.